Alright guys, Kroenke here again today. Hope you're all having a fantastic Sunday is today, or whenever you guys are watching this, whenever in the future. Today I wanted to talk about whether we will even get the 12 teams that the CWL Activision Blizzard are looking for in this year's Call of Duty League. They've said that they, or at least I think it's rumoured, I don't think it was said in the official release that they did on Reddit, which I will link even down below if you guys would like to check it out. But I think it's been rumoured that they're looking to expand potentially up to 28 teams at some point in the future. The Overwatch League, they have like two separate leagues for two separate, like they have an East and West division, I'm pretty sure, which has a fair few teams in it nowadays. But this season the plan was to have 12 teams. Right now we have 9 teams confirmed as a recording on the 8th of September. So yeah, that's what we're going to go through in this video. Of course, the last few days we've had quite a lot of teams announce that they are not going to be investing in this year's league, which personally, and I'm sure a lot of you guys agree, sounds like a pretty intelligent decision, because it's difficult to say right now whether this league is worth it. A lot of esports people who have been around the scene for a long time, I think Devin Nash said in one of his videos that he feels like the first round of investors into this league will not see returns on their investment. It'll be the second round, the third round, whenever, where the league will actually become profitable, because $25 million at a minimum is very, very steep. We've had 9 teams, 9 organizations, 9 venture capitalist groups, whatever they happen to be, invest in this year's game, in this year's league. Maybe it will work out well for them. There's some articles and some things pointing in directions that imply it won't, but you know, that's what we're going to go through today, and which cities and which potential other organizations could be hopping in, as there have been some rumors. So yeah, like if you guys enjoy, subscribe if you're new, as always, I'd really appreciate it. This quick tweet here from Sensor, someone tweeted him, still won't have a spot on a franchise. Sensor tweets, I'll save this tweet and laugh at you when I'm winning championships and making my millions of dollars, making my franchise millions of dollars, and I'll save this one. So yeah, thought that'd be a light-hearted way to start the video. So this is what's come out over the last couple of weeks. Chad Larson, Reciprocity Man, suggesting, or saying right here, they will not be participating in Season 1 of the CoD World League franchising. Of course, 100 Thieves said this a few days ago. Nadeshot saying it's with a very heavy heart. We announced 100 Thieves will not be participating in this year's Call of Duty League. Same story, or not necessarily the same story, but Dot Esports did this article just last month, 29th of August, saying that Gen.G and Luminosity have been denied franchise slots for Call of Duty League inaugural season. And the Gen.G individual here, the COO, says that sources wrong, but of course it has now been confirmed that Gen.G are not in the Call of Duty League next season. It's just that they maybe haven't been denied it. They said in their post that they opted to not invest. So slightly different things. But if the sources are right about Luminosity, then they also will not be having a spot in this year's league. Whether they have also opted out, as Gen.G claim to have done, or whether they will, or whether they have been denied. Interesting that Activision would deny anyone unless they had a very solid reasoning for denying them, in that they have other owners that are potentially coming into the league that they already have determined. Now, it's difficult to say exactly when the deadline is, if there even is a deadline for buying a spot, because what we do know is that the Call of Duty League, the CDL, which is what it's supposed to be called, is going to start in 2020. So we won't even have any CDL related events in 2019, it seems. The game comes out October 25th, which means we'll have 2 months with basically nothing, CDL related until the new year. Which means that theoretically, there's still quite a long time left for teams to potentially sign up to this year's game. As I say, 9 of them are confirmed right so far. Be interested to hear your thoughts, of course, on whether we will get 12 teams. If there isn't 12, it'd be a really odd number. Well, not necessarily odd, it could be like 10, but even then, like, you want to have 12, right? Because that sounds about right. And in the last few years, we've had 16. So stepping down any more than to 12 seems over the top. So Gen.G did this yesterday, yesterday, and I talked about this in yesterday's video. Interesting article here that I'll link down below. So I didn't go through the entire conclusion of this, but a Convoy Ventures article here on Medium says that in conclusion, we believe the upcoming contract for the media rights of the CDL should be priced at $24 million per season, and we believe the most accurate pricing would be based on hours watched and viewers, which would have the total deal priced at $48 million if it was over 2 seasons. What matters most is the viewers, because what you sell through as media, because that's what you sell through as a media rights holder. In theory, media rights revenue is evenly split up with all franchise teams. With 9 franchising announced for the CDL, we expect them to announce at least 3 more. So Convoy Ventures, that's what they expect, taking the total to at least 12 spots. Our estimates would indicate that each team would receive a max of $2 million a season, $24 million over 12 teams, and that assumes that Activision Blizzard takes $0 from media rights, which is unlikely to be the revenue split between them and the franchise owners. We know what Activision Blizzard is like, right? In reality, the franchise teams will likely receive quite a bit less. There are definitely other costs and revenues associated with being part of the league, yet if we are to assume all teams breaking even on the CDL before they receive 100% of media rights revenue, $2 million a season, it would still take 12.5 seasons to make back their franchise fee. So this is just one of the reasons where a lot of people are suggesting that, you know, maybe this isn't a great investment. And of course, as this individually wrote this article says, to finish off, unlike traditional sports that last for 100 plus years, video games can come and go. Who knows whether the Call of Duty League will even last another 12.5 seasons for these guys to make their money back through media rights. Of course, they can make their money back through sponsorships and winning championships and whatever. But still, on the surface of things, and that is, of course, the 12.5 seasons is assuming they're breaking even on the sponsorships they bring in compared to what they have to pay the players, which is $50,000 per salary at the very least, because that's what was said in an article. The official announcement that they did, all players have to be paid $50K a season. That's including all your substitutes, and there can be a hell of a lot of substitutes if you want to do it that way. Difficult thing to make money in. I think a lot of organizations have seen people from, you know, Cloud9 and other, you know, the organizations that have decided not to invest here, the likes of Gen G, 100 Thieves, Reciprocity, thinking, you know, this is just so much money. Can we realistically do this? Probably not. We'll have to see Season 2, Season 3, whether it seems like a worthwhile investment. You know, that's what I'm expecting. I think we will get 12 teams. We'll talk in a second through, well, the teams we have right now. So here they are. I can probably make this about this big. That'll do. So yeah, we have Atlanta, Dallas, New York, Paris, Toronto, Los Angeles, 2 LA spots, of course, one owned by Immortals OpTic Gaming, one owned by Kroenke, I believe is how you're meant to pronounce it, Minnesota, Florida, and as I said, the other LA spots. So these are the 9 teams that are currently in the CDL. We've had rumours as to which players might be going where. Dallas, of course, owned by Team Envy. Atlanta, rumoured to be maybe getting some of the FaZe guys. New York was the one that Doug sent to Martin, said that he wanted to go to, and you know, also like Aches and that, saying whether Los Angeles could be a home, maybe Immortals, OpTic Gaming, or whatever. Some teasing things have come out. Let's go through this though. This is what they tweeted out, or not tweeted out. This is what the Reddit post came out with. The minimum pro roster size per team is 7. The maximum pro roster size per team is 10. Minimum base salary $50,000 a year. This just kind of shows all teams may offer their players housing in the form of a suitable place to live, but are not required to do so. If a team does not offer housing, it must submit a plan to the league office detailing how it will assist its players in finding housing during the season. So look, as you can see here, there's so many costs involved in coming into this year's franchise league as an organization. 9 teams have done it so far. These are, of course, the owners, and a lot of these have Overwatch League teams, because, of course, we heard ages ago from Richard Lewis that Overwatch League teams were going to have effectively like first dibs on getting a spot if they would like to, which was interesting. While we got the news that Gen G had been rejected, turns out now that Gen G had just simply opted out. So this is an interesting spreadsheet that Kroenke, CDL, Intel put together. Organizations that haven't invested, cities that haven't been invested in so far, and there's so many names here, so many cities they could potentially invest. Of course, Gen G have decided not to. The likes of Cloud9 who are thinking about it maybe next year. You know, Liquid, Evil Geniuses said a while ago that they're not going to. OG, which is a different brand to OpTic Gaming. You know, Fnatic, Virtus Pro, like so many big organizations here, and so many you know, names that probably could partner up with some sort of venture capitalist group. And of course, there's so many cities as well that you could potentially have teams in. You know, just to finish off the job here, so the likes of FaZe Clan who haven't got in yet, or you know, that's a question as to whether FaZe Clan will get in. Mousesports, Dignitas, E-United have been rumoured to, which we'll have a look at in a second. Echo, Fox, of course, Reciprocity decided not to. Complexity, I'm pretty sure, have decided not to. Some really big organisations here. PSG as well, and some major cities around the world, including, we haven't even got here to ones outside the States, and of course you could potentially have cities in Asia, in Australia, London, of course, Barcelona, Madrid, whatever the case may be. So it's interesting to see we've only got 9 so far, and these are some rumoured other ones. So Skylar Johnson, retired pro 4-play, he says that Northwest US will show love soon enough, implying potentially Seattle could be a city in this year's league. Another big rumour is that Houston could be another squad, because Lee Zybin has bought out the Houston Outlaws from the Overwatch League and is rumoured to be partnering up with United Esports Incorporated. This Zybin guy is fully based in Houston, Texas. If you've looked up through his Twitter and that, which we have done in the past on this channel, pretty much all his stuff is Houston related. He did a tweet a while ago suggesting that he wants to buy an Overwatch League team and a Call of Duty team, likely in Houston. So those are the 2 rumours right now, that Houston can get a spot, maybe with the United there, and also Seattle could be another one. So those are the rumours right now, but that only really brings us up to 11. These are some other organisations that have invested in the Overwatch League but have not invested in Call of Duty. We know that Cloud9 will not be this season. We know that Gen G will not be. Lee Zybin Houston is pretty hot rumour right now. And then the other organisations as well. These are the most likely ones to invest if they are going to. LG, we don't really know, but according to that .esports article, they're not going to get a spot. So some really interesting stuff here, and I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts down below. So, before we finish the video, just wanted to go through this idea real quick. If these 3 players were the start of your franchise team for, let's say, the London spot, let's say Cloud9 did decide to invest, and we had Dylan CoD, Scraps, and Wuskin, who would you have to finish out your European God Squad team? Who actually would be your European God Squad team right now? I think that Dylan and Scraps are a no-brainer for this team. Of course, we've also got to try and build a team for Modern Warfare rather than Black Ops 4. Not sure I'd have Wuskin in my God tier squad, but you never really know. And yeah, Dylan and Scraps would definitely be there. I think Zero would definitely be there as well. Those would be my core 3 if I was making a European God squad. I would like to put Tommy in there, but I think that they might not get on so well with Scraps. I'm not sure if there's lasting beef there. I can't really remember. And a lot of people on Reddit were saying that if these were your 3, you'd put Zero in there and you'd put Jerd in there, which might make sense. Dylan and Jerd as an SMG partnership would be filthy. You could also have Dylan and Zed. Dylan and Alex maybe would also work better. Alex was phenomenal, of course, in World War II. But yeah, I thought I'd run that past you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new as always. Leave all your thoughts down below. Do you think we're going to get 12 teams in this year's CDL? Of course, rumoured potentially to try and go up to 28 towards the future. That's probably not going to happen in the near future by any means. A lot of organisations, a lot of venture capitalist groups are being very cautious and optimistic, I guess. Still somewhat optimistic, but also cautiously optimistic is really what I was going for about the league, which is basically what Nadeshot said. He's cautiously optimistic, but 100 Thieves aren't investing, which pretty much sums up the sentiment of a lot of teams. I think this decision from them makes a lot of sense. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you next time.